What really motivates sales professionals? We would think it would be money because there seems to be so much stress on that, but it's actually recognition. In fact, the pollsters find that recognition is number one for most employees, salespeople included, and then their self-worth, the environment they're working in, the value they feel like their profession or their job is bringing, the potential for advancement or maybe even job security. A lot of factors come in ahead of money. With salespeople, it's sort of the same, except that sales professionals keep score by their income. They want to compete internally and do better than their peers. They want to be able to compare how they're doing with other industries and other markets. Sometimes they see the grass is greener on the other side and try to go there. And then there's continuous quality improvement. Am I doing better this year than I did last year? When we look at how sales reps behave, first of all, remember they are human. There may be days that you wonder about that, but they are human, which means they are subject to the frailties of human nature. And one of the attributes of human nature is habitual behavior. We start doing things out of habit. Now, habits are neither good nor bad. They are simply conditioned behavior. However, we can fall into habits without even knowing it. That's why it's so important that we critique our own sales calls. We record them audibly whenever we can and video when possible so that we'll know what our customers are seeing. They are among the least supervised employees on the payroll. And that's just a function of sales. When they're out with the buyers and prospects, it's typically a one-to-one. When you can do team selling, always do that so you have a second set of eyes, a second pair of ears watching the presentation, but basically they're the least supervised. Then they do what they know how to do and want to do. Now, what they know how to do is based on the learning they've been given in their organization. Are you constantly updating and training your salespeople? And what they want to do is where compensation comes in. I never had a compensation program handed to me as a salesperson that I didn't analyze to see how I could make it work best for me. If there were bonuses, if there were spiffs, I was going to focus on those to increase my own personal income. And the only way I could do that, of course, is by increasing my performance. The three attributes of a great sales professional: number one, they are lazy; number two, they have a big ego; and number three, they hate paperwork. Before you start kicking back on this, here's what this means. Lazy means a sales professional will learn to work smarter and not harder. They will find tools, they will find processes, they will find the ways possible to work smarter. Therefore, they'll produce more. They'll have higher production in their efforts, therefore they will bring in higher production in their results. It takes a big ego to manage rejection. When the customer says no, when the customer says we've decided to go another direction, sales professionals will take that just a little bit personally. We can't not do that. So it takes a big ego to pick ourselves up, go back and try again. And then we don't really love to put numbers in boxes. So keep it simple, salesperson. Automate as much of your reporting as possible. In that way, the three major attributes of a great sales professional will come to work for your organization. Remember this. Nobody wants what you're selling. Nobody wants my products and services. Nobody wants yours. Well, what do they want? They only want what they think, not reality, but what they think. Sales is done as a mental engagement. We change the way people think, and then they can change the way that they act. They only want what they think your product or service will do for them. Endorsements are nice. It's great when we have testimonials from customers, but frankly, each buyer wants to know, what can you do for me? What's in it for me? They only want what they think your product or service will do for them right now, not what it did for them in the past. Our businesses are changing. Their businesses are changing. They want to know what your organization, what your product, your service, your rep is going to do to help them be more successful. There are some myths and misconceptions about sales, and before we get into the compensation training, let's go over these just to make sure we're all on the same page. The gift of gab does not work. The gift of ask does work. We don't have glib salespeople succeeding. The best product or service does not win. The best product is not going to win the sale. The best service is not going to win the sale. What does? The best story wins. The rep that can tell the best convincing story using the buyer's criteria is the one that will take the day. The best salespeople may not be type A. We think of salespeople as gregarious and outgoing, but there are ways that people in other categories can be even more successful using their style and personality. Sales techniques do not work. Most buyers are better at buying than salespeople are at selling. They have seen all the techniques, and if they sense a salesperson or sales rep is using a technique, they know exactly what to do with it and take control of the sale. What do buyers want? If they don't want our product or service, what do they want? Well, let's look at what they don't want and what they want. First of all, they don't want more revenue. Really? They want the profit the revenue will generate. If all your company wanted was more revenue, why don't you just sell at cost or sell at a loss? You'll be able to sell because selling on price is the easiest way to sell. The problem is your organization won't have any profit. They don't want your products. What do they want? They want the profit they will realize from using your product. So what makes your product better for their profit generation? What are you going to do to help them be more profitable? They don't want your services. They want the profit that your services can create. Are you helping them serve their buyers better? This is critical. If you're good with service, what can you do to help your buyers become even better serving their clients? Your personal involvement is probably not something they want, even though they value you and enjoy having you around. They want to know, how are you helping their business be more profitable? The more you understand their business, the more likely they are to invite you back over and over again and keep you involved. So if profit is so important, why don't we compensate salespeople on profit rather than revenue or activities or unit sales or something like that? Well, here's the issue. How can sales be compensated on profit when they don't control the cost? How can we ask a sales rep to be accountable for profitability when they don't control our labor cost, our raw material cost? Well, the truth is they can control some costs, those costs associated with making a sale. Will they think differently with enough incentive? If you start incentivizing salespeople on profitability rather than activity, will they change their behavior? Technologies can make them more productive, and the more productive a person is, the more profitable they are. Processes can make them more profitable. And selling on value rather than selling on price is the beginning. This is essential. This is the foundation of being able to compensate sales reps on profit. So evaluate the multiple models for profit-based sales compensation and find the ones that will work for your organization. That's what this course is all about. And you're probably saying, well, show me. Well, let's get started and do that. Here's what we're going to cover. First of all, we're going to revisit sales compensation fundamentals just to make sure we're all on the same page. You'll want to determine the what and not the how. As a leader in a sales organization, you don't discover the what, you discover the how. You set the how and let the salespeople generate the whats. Constantly reward profit generation. Use a value-based sales process. If you don't have one, it's time to initiate one. There are plenty of sales courses out there, mine included, that will teach how to sell on value, not price. Have multiple compensation models, you think? We're seeing organizations now where every sales rep has their own compensation model and they're doing extremely well. What actually motivates sales professionals? We've touched on that. We're going to go deeper. How to quantify and communicate your desired outcome, what you want your salespeople to do. That's a what. You determine the what and let salespeople determine the how. Regular training and coaching sessions, especially peer-to-peer sessions, are becoming the norm now. And then how quickly and how soon sales plans need to be updated is a work in progress. When the economy is going down, the changes need to be made more frequently. When the economy is going up, the changes need to be made slowly. Let's get started.